Welcome. This is David Fortier with Talking Bristol, and today we have for our guest Josh Medeiros, the Superintendent of Parks, Recreation, Youth, and Community Services. I'll have Josh check that in a second to make sure I ticked off all those numbers right now. But we're looking forward to a great conversation. We really appreciate you having taken the time to do this, Josh. And I don't know if people realize this, but Bristol has one of the best park systems, not just in this general area in central Connecticut, not just in New England, but across the country.
That's right.
We'll find out a little bit about that in a second. So we're going to get a little bit of background from Josh, and then we're going to cover a number of issues. Remember, if you like what we're doing here, to share, subscribe. You could also follow us on Facebook and on Instagram. So we are here today with Josh Medeiros. Josh, great to be here.
Yes, thanks for having me on the show. You got the title perfectly correct. I know you were worried, but you did great.
I've been practicing that.
Yeah.
but even in our leading up to our conversation today, before we got on screen, already I've been educated about some of the areas that you provide services in, and I hope we get to that. But before we do that, how long have you been with Bristol Parks? Parks are why?
Sure. Bristol Parks, Recreation, Youth, and Community Services.
Yeah.
I've been the superintendent for about 7.5 years now, but I previously worked for the city for about 4 years in a couple different roles, but 7 in my current role.
Right, and you are a resident of Bristol.
That's
right
right.
now. You
Yep.
For all intents and purposes, you are a Bristol person.
Thank you. Yes.
Yes, you are.
I consider myself.
I think that's great. That's awesome. So also, when I mentioned, our park system, we talked a little bit about how fine it is. And I think people in Bristol who grew up here think of it one way, but things have happened over the years, and it's developed to be one of the finest systems in the country.
Thanks.
Over the last couple of years, you have personally won awards. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And Bristol has garnered a number of awards.
Right.
Recently, if you look back at our TBE videos, you won an award over at Muzzy Field for one of the pristine, one of the best, baseball fields?
Yeah, in the entire North America. So not just the country, but the entire North America.
Yeah.
Muzzy Field is the best school and park field in the country. That's a huge honor.
Yeah.
It goes to our park staff. They've just done an incredible job.
Well, you have to feel great about that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That is, everyone loves Muzzy Field, first of all.
Right.
And everyone has a Muzzy Field story.
Yep.
which is the way it should be. I mean, this is it. And I know when I was even working outside of the city, when I was teaching, there would be people who, the coaches to the baseball team in the school that I coached in Rocky Hill. They made it a regular habit to come out to Muzzy Field and watch a game. So there was that local thing. But this was an award that was, like you said, North America. What? How do they even judge something like that?
Yeah, it's true. So our athletics and ball field supervisor, Doug Trillo, he's been with the city over 30 years. He's an outstanding, passionate worker who loves our fields, particularly Muzzy Field. And so he just put us forward. He submitted an application. Didn't think we'd ever get it, right? Because you're up against agencies all over the country, and they picked it. And I think it's a credit to the type of management practices we're doing, the type of dedication that Doug and the entire ball field crew have really done. We've made some structural changes to how our park grounds and facilities team is operating. And I think that has also helped really make this the top tier field in the entire North America. Yeah.
The anecdotal stuff that I grew up with, the Red Sox, the AA team played there.
Yeah.
I don't think they were triple. I think they were AA team. They have their names written in the sidewalk across the street still for when Chippy's was there and all that kind of stuff. But even then there are these stories about the relationships that our workers had with people at Yankee Stadium and people at Fenway Park, and they would consult with people. They took such care of our fields. And here we are now with Doug.
Yeah.
not only living that tradition, making it a living tradition, but actually being acknowledged for this. This is
Yeah.
like tremendous.
Well, I think it's one of these things, like, we have a lot of pride. Bristol in general has a lot of pride at this facility. Our staff take a lot of pride at Muzzy. So to have it recognized on such a national stage, I think is a huge accomplishment. That just, it feels good to know that all the hard work that's going into that facility is also being seen, not just by our community, but by the broader industry.
Yeah, that's just
And
great.
there's a lot of nostalgia that people have about Muzzy.
Yeah.
It's a prized community asset that, we'll get lots of traffic this summer.
Yeah. Well, we have the Blues there playing.
Yes. Yeah.
Sometime. American Legion still plays there.
That's right.
The Pony League still play their championships there.
Yeah, they do in the high schools.
Yeah. High school. So that's great. And of course, one of the things that we do, which is actually causes a riff, I think, because we covered the football game last year.
Oh boy.
The Thanksgiving Day football game, because, all right, it's a baseball field and this is a football game.
Sure.
So you've got to do some magic. Your team has to do magic to pull that off and maintain that field. So it's really tremendous effort to make that work.
That's right.
Yeah, that's great.
Right.
But you won other awards too. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about those awards, because they are national awards. It's national recognition, and maybe how what the actual level of the awards are, so people get an idea of just how significant that is.
Yeah. So I would say the Muzzy Award, of course, is one of our most proud awards. We've also received local Connecticut Recreation and Park Association. That's our state affiliate. They have given us both myself, our staff members have received individual awards. We've received a Facility of Merit Award for the renovations we did at E.G. Stocks Playground. So the new splash park.
That's my old playground. I was a supervisor in the park system there.
So there's brand new playground.
That's right. Yeah. We have a cabin then, but they have this,
Nice.
you have all the good stuff there. Yeah.
So all the renovation work we did there, that got state recognition a couple years back. We've gotten awards for some of our programs from the state association. But I'd say the award that we're most proud of is the American Academy of Park and Rec Administration. So this is kind of the top premier agency in the country, has awarded our department as a top 4 agency for a community of our size, or for communities. I think it's 30 to 70,000. And that means that being a finalist, we're a top 4 agency in the entire country for populations of this size. And that's a credit to the type of system that we manage, the management practices that we put into place, the best practices and policies that we've created and are implementing, and just our overall synergy of our staff team and what we've accomplished. So that gets reviewed by the Academy, and they make these really hard decisions, and we're up against some really big people every year. So it's really, I feel a lot of pride in the fact that the park system that we manage here has gotten so much national attention. Top 4 in the country. That's a huge honor.
It's incredible. It's but also, of course, again, and you do things on pretty much a shoestring.
That's right.
Yeah. So
that's right.
You really function on a lean budget. So I that's just tremendous.
Thank you.
I'm a Bristol guy, so I'm really proud of what we have here, and I thank you for what you.
Yeah, you should be. I think we should be. We
Yeah.
should all be really proud of. Yeah. I think the park system that we have. I think it's one of Bristol's greatest assets.
It's tremendous, and along those lines, I'm also learning and being educated about, like, when it comes to sizes of parks, we have a fairly let's say considerable amount of our city is considered park land. Yeah. So how do you compare that to other places, and so people get an idea of how significant that is?
We do have a really big park system. So my team manages about 1,000 acres of public park land. This includes active parks like Rockwell, Page, as well as passive spaces like Robert's property, the Pigeon Hill Nature Preserve, Hopper's Birch Pond. These are all properties that our team is maintaining. We're, I believe, the second largest in Connecticut, right behind Bridgeport, in terms of per capita amount of parks per capita. And we're one of the largest in the entire region in New England, with our park size, the diversity of amenities that we have, everything from splash parks to swimming pools, pickleball courts. Like, I think we have something for everybody when you really look at the park system.
So you're gearing up for, the park big parks here. I guess every
Yes.
is. I mean, the way things are today, are there bigger seasons than other seasons, or can you say that the spring, summer, and fall are the big seasons?
We never really have a downtime,
Yeah, I was
especially
gonna
now that
say,
our
yeah.
department is Parks, Recreation, Youth, and Community Services. There's really, so our park and recreation team, the spring, the summer, fall, it's really our busiest time. Certainly our summer, all of the amenities are open. We have 3 swimming pools that we manage, hundreds of recreational programs, special events like the Rockwell Summer Concert Series.
Mhm.
All of this is going on. So it really creates a fast-paced environment where there's lots of things happening and tons of people are in the parks, right? It's the active season. Winter,
Yeah.
again, you'd think is a little bit slower, but our staff is also responsible for snow operations. We plow roads, we plow parking lots, making sure that, our indoor amenities are open for people to use. And then our youth development programs through youth services, that's all through the school year. So that work is really ramping up
Hmm.
and throughout the year. So there's really, I would never say there's a slow time. We're really always just kind of gas on the pedal.
Tell me more about the youth services.
Sure.
You're saying I think students. I think how does that work? I mean, I don't even know
Yes.
how to
So
phrase it. Yeah.
yep. So part of our department, we have our youth and community services. It's a division within our department. We manage the city's youth service bureau. So every community has a YSB that is providing services to youth in need. We do a lot of development programs for kids that need help with building social skills, building,
Mhm.
leadership skills. So we do programs both in our building at 51 High Street. We have programming space where we invite kids and families to come in. We also go into the schools and offer programs there depending on what the needs are. So we're across about a dozen schools. Our staff are in the schools providing services. We also do prevention work through our Best Drug-Free Community program. That's a really great program that's being headed up by Dee Willingham. She's done a phenomenal job with Best, and she's actually in the high schools providing resources. Students that get caught using vaping in schools actually get referred to her program to provide education, not just to the kids, but to the families as well. So we really like to think we have kind of a full service operation.
I'm just overwhelmed by the amount of administrative work that's involved in
Yeah.
this. And for disclosure's purposes, I used to be the youth liaison to the youth commission,
Oh, okay.
and I graduated to. I was the chairman of the board for a while.
Nice.
So I have another life. I have a history with them. But our big things back then were we took kids on trips to Martha's Vineyard.
Wow.
And we went to what's the music venue in Massachusetts?
Oh, the Meadows?
No. It's the Pops. I
Okay.
can't think of it right now, but I'll think of it in a minute.
Yeah.
But we did that type of thing, and so it's kind of different than what you're talking about.
Right.
So that's with youth, and then also you mentioned that you have community services.
That's right.
So there are services to youth, but there are also services to members of the community,
Right.
which is a whole other ballgame, I guess.
It is.
Yeah.
We offer, what I didn't mention is we offer counseling services for youth and families. And we also provide short-term case management for people, Bristol residents in the community that are needing extra support. So, you have a tragedy, you're having a financial hardship. Our team will work with different people and help you out. Everything from if you need assistance filling out an application for a SNAP benefits, any kind of financial assistance. We've given coaching out. So we have a new community service coordinator who just started, and he's doing a fantastic job really getting in there and trying to meet people where they need. Jeffrey Arduini.
We just had we just made that we just posted the story about.
Nice. We'll have to get him in here next to talk about everything that he's seeing in
that's
90 days on the job.
Now, I know you're really good with things. I mean, the youth. I mean, the Parks, Recreation, Youth and Community Services.
Yes.
It's really good about using technology to get your thoughts. I mean, to get your information out there. But here I've been here the whole time, and somehow the whole community services aspect of what you do has kind of totally evaded me. I mean, I have not been alerted to that. I mean, I would be surprised to know how many people know about that and might use those services, which would make your job more difficult because I'm sure there are people in the community who could use those services. How would people get in touch with you if they wanted to use those services?
Sure. I mean, if folks can just call us at our main office line and schedule an appointment. They can stop down anytime at 51 High Street and schedule an appointment at that point. The city only has one community service coordinator. So as you can imagine,
Mhm.
he's pretty busy. He's working right now with about 75 clients, even just in 90
Yeah.
days, people needing rental assistance, things like that. Our struggle is we can't always provide everything because we don't have a large budget for this work. We rely on community donations to support some of this.
People
But
are
we
gonna
try to
yeah.
really meet people where they are and think about what other services exist within the community that we can connect people to and make people aware. Because sometimes people just don't know where they can go for a hot meal, where they can go for shelter and
Mhm.
things like that.
And so you're very aware of the networks that are out there and
Oh,
the
yeah.
the services. You work with HRA at all?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so our
yeah.
staff were very collaborative with all the local
Mhm,
nonprofits, Agape House, Brian's Angels. We're also working with the senior center. They have a senior center coordinator
mhm.
who also does similar work, but for 55 and up. So we're very collaborative there, as well as the Bristol Burlington Health District. So we have a
Yeah,
vast social service network, and I think the struggle is just always there's so much community need, and there's just never enough resources
yeah,
to deliver on what people need.
yeah. Well, I mean, I gotta mention that, I mean, I walk by, um, the new playground over on Federal Hill Green,
Sure.
and I know there's a homeless presence there.
Right.
So, I mean, that's just a fact of life in our city right here. But, I noticed that there are people who are there, but at the same time, which kind of always is, out of curiosity to me, is that it hasn't slowed down the use of the playground. I go over the playground, there are always kids playing there,
Right.
and I know there is, homeless presence
Sure.
there. So, I mean, any thoughts about that? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I'm absolutely pleased that it's not slowing it down. I mean, we definitely have a mantra, the parks are for all people, right? I think it's unfortunate that some folks don't have anywhere to go,
they do, yeah, they
but
don't, yeah,
being within the park, they're not violating any city ordinances. So unless they're, panhandling or getting aggressive or violent or anything like that or using illegal drugs, if they're not doing any of that, there's nothing really that can be done. So if something's happening and people feel unsafe because of a certain action, they should absolutely call the Bristol Police Department. But it really is a space for all people, and that's just the reality right now. Our
right,
homeless shelters are filled in town. There's nowhere for people just to transition out, and a lot of times they're moving from one park to the next because they are public spaces, right?
yeah.
And it's easy and
They're safe
accessible. They're
spaces.
safer
They're
spaces.
safe spaces.
um, but
So,
it shouldn't deter. I would not want it to deter people from using the parks, but
mhm,
we are always looking at ways. Okay, how do we improve safety?
mhm,
How do we improve litter pickup? Because there's just so much volume of use in the parks that it's a lot to keep up with.
yeah. So I'm just the reality is that even the best parks, they're not. It's not Disneyland.
No, and
It's
we're honestly really fortunate. I know
yeah.
it's tough seeing what you see, right? But as someone, involved in the National Rec and Park Association Board of Directors, and every year we go all over. So I've been to Baltimore, Maryland. I've been to Seattle, Washington. I go all over the country and Phoenix, Arizona, and you go to these places and see some of the things that you see. It's like we're very fortunate in Bristol in terms of
Mhm.
the population that we have, and I think the
Yeah,
quality of parks compared to
yeah,
what's happening in other parts of the country.
yeah. That's terrific. I do know that, just over the last couple of weeks, there has been some work over on the boulevard having to do with, the geese population.
Yes, yes.
Yes, so, I mean, it was a kind of a battle a couple of years ago when people
Sure.
talked about the geese population.
Right.
And I noticed some barriers going up, and I noticed there was a landscaping effort. I will call it a landscaping effort. I
Sure.
don't know what you
Yep.
want to call it, but it involved school kids,
Yes.
and it
Yep.
involved a whole big part of our community actually, dealing with this, with some of the recommendations you got from the state about how to handle
Right.
this population.
So
So,
so it came up quite a bit. Obviously, I think you might have covered it even at our board of park commissioners. We know the geese are nuance, and there's just a lot of debate. Like, how do you handle it? How do you address it? At the time, Parks Board was pursuing the option. Hey, can you round up the geese? Is that the most viable
mhm,
option? Some people say yes. We started consulting, and after listening to the public, that meeting, we had 300 people came out to talk to testify to Parks Board that this wasn't the remedy that they wanted. The board opted to kind of explore other opportunities. What you saw on the boulevard is the plan that got adopted by the Parks Board back in 2025, which was to implement a geese management plan that has a couple different factors to it. So the first thing is we put educational signs out on the boulevard. So if you go there now, not feeding the geese, that's one of the number one things. So basically the feedback that we got was you round up all the geese, killed all the geese, let's say, next year they're going to all be back. If that's an attractive place to be and people are feeding the geese, you'll never get rid of them. So education, trying to get people to stop feeding the geese is number one. The second, what you saw is did install a riparian buffer. This was a partnership with the Farmington River Watershed Association. They got a grant and partnered with us. So it was fully funded. No taxpayer money went to this, but all the experts were telling us you had to create an environment that disrupts the geese. So a riparian buffer, it's going to be a vegetative buffer that goes all around the waterways, basically making it hard for the geese to come in and out of that pond. So the theory is that their experts are telling us that basically if the geese feel like it's a pain to be there, they're going to go somewhere else.
They're lazy.
They're lazy. They're not going to know. So basically those are the two steps that the park board took to see, let's see how that goes. It's going to take another year or two before the buffer's fully kind of grown in and happening. But I think it was the right approach to see how that goes for now.
They're a nuisance, like you said, and they, and although it's nice to have some wildlife around. I mean, we can talk about the bears in a minute, but so my understanding also is that not only is it difficult for them to move in and out of the water sources, but also when they're in open spaces, the way the boulevard was, where they could actually see if there were predators,
right?
And if they didn't see any, they was just kind of like, hey, it was party time. Yeah. So, are you happy with that kind of resolution?
Yeah, it was a beautiful project. The Farmington River Water Association is a great partner. They've worked with us on a lot of rain gardens across the city, one at Page, one at Rockwell.
Oh, unaware of that, totally.
And over at Edgewood. I mean, they just do a great job. They're really easy to work with. Their volunteers did a lot of the work. We sent some of our staff team to help out. I helped out with some of our office staff. You mentioned students at Bames. We reached out to Leah McCabe, the principal. She brought students out that actually helped. So it really became a really great community planting and project. So I'm happy with the fact that it brought everyone together and do I think it's going to resolve all the geese issues? I don't. But I think it's a good step to see, okay, how do we disrupt this a little bit and what's next?
Yeah. Pretty terrific. Yeah. Any other challenges that are out there for you this year or things to look forward to or as the summer season opens?
One of the things we're really pushing this year is last year we did the first ever park satisfaction survey. So we did a community survey to see, all right, how are parks feeling? How is the community feeling about the parks? Two of the things that stood out for me in terms of areas that we wanted to improve was the perception of safety. That was something 50% of the people that took the survey felt safe in the parks, and we think it's linked to Rockwell. So really looking at, okay, how do we improve this public perception of safety? And then secondly, the cleanliness, the littering factor, again, specifically at Rockwell, how do we better keep up with all that's happening? Because the problem is we have staff that pick up litter. We deploy people every day to this work. We do staff people over the weekend in the height of the summer to try to keep up. But the reality is you do all that, a party comes in, a trash can gets knocked over, and then it looks not good, right? It looks like trash is everywhere. So this year we are launching a campaign called Be Part of the Solution, Not the Pollution. And we're trying to really engage the broader community because you can't do it alone, right? People have to be better park stewards. They have to pick up after themselves. They have to pitch in and pick up other people's trash is just the reality of it. So it's a campaign that we're putting some messaging out. Last year, our staff collected 186 tons of trash, I believe it was. It's the equivalent of 45 elephants or 2 blue whales, to give you a sense of how much is being picked up. But this year we're relaunching the Bristol Green Team, kind of making it more of a global effort where individuals, you could sign up online, bristolrec.com.
Mhm.
Sign up, you pick any park you want, any day that you want, and come by our office. We give you a litter pickup kit and a t-shirt, free t-shirt.
And that's called the Green Team.
Bristol Green Team.
Bristol Green Team, yeah. And I imagine too that there are issues, with the maintenance of the facility and like the bathrooms and things where there are problems.
Right.
And I imagine a Green Team, I mean, would you actually have them check out and let you know if there's a problem at someplace? If
Absolutely. I mean, we take
Yeah.
I think the more eyes you can have in the parks, the more people helping advocate and reporting issues so they can be responded to in a timely manner. That's always helpful. We always appreciate getting calls and
Mhm.
concerns. I think there is issues, right, with vandalism. You kind of mentioned the bathrooms.
Mhm.
We do invest in a new locking system and different things that have
How does that
helped.
locking system work?
So everything's set on a timer. So we program when the bathrooms turn on, when they close off. That way we're saving staff time, not
Mhm.
coming into paying people to come lock and open.
Push a button
it-
from where?
Online.
Online.
It's all software
Yeah.
programs. So
Wow.
it's a nice system, but unfortunately people still, even within that window, they can get in, they can vandalize the space. We've
Mhm.
had people smash toilets, smash mirrors. And when things like that happens, the bathrooms then get shut down, for a period of time to be replaced and to get them back in a safe working condition. So it's frustrating for the lay park user that's there caring for the park, having a good time. They don't always understand what just transpired the day before or the night before, and we're playing catch up to try to get these going.
So it's better for a person who encounters something like that to call your office. Say
Yes,
there's a
yeah,
problem with the bathroom.
that's right. Yeah,
There's no toilet paper. What happens if
Yep.
there's no toilet paper?
yeah. I mean, we overstock, we have it going, but I think kind of what I mentioned before, it's like there's such a large presence that sometimes it can just kind of go through and
Yeah.
and happen. But we do have staff on site, usually on the weekends, like I said, in the summer, that could restock.
Mhm.
But you can also message us on our Facebook page, and we relay messages like that too.
Well, that's yeah.
But it's tough, we don't have we don't have a budget to have people 24/7 in the parks to deal with the myriad of issues or things that
Yeah.
people might want support on.
But one thing you mentioned that kind of sticks in my head right now is the fact that we are stewards of the parks.
Yes.
I mean, we have people who are staff who are taking care of the parks and doing things there, but
That's
we
right.
have to be alert too, and we have to maybe either pick up after ourselves or even make a phone call and say, hey, there's an issue over here. I can't take care of it myself because I'm not a plumber, but maybe someone could attend to it. So
Yeah, well, I mean, we have to, right? I think I look at it as we're really caretakers of the park for a period of time, our staff. But the reality is these are community assets. They're for the community, and you want to see everyone look at that space, respect the space, carry out what they brought in, or minimally use a trash can to, keep the space safe. We want the parks to be good for the next generation of people and not have space that gets run down.
and generally, I mean, they are. I mean, they're pretty terrific. But right now, Rockwell's getting much more traffic
That's right.
than Page Park because Page Park is going under just beginning phase 2 of its renovation right there.
That's
and
right.
It looks pretty terrific.
Thanks. Yeah.
That new trail that goes up and ends over on Park Avenue or whatever.
Yeah,
Is over
yeah.
there. Yeah, it looks like things are going really well. So what can people expect with phase 2?
Sure. So what's happening right now? So we did just complete phase 1 this past year. Phase 2 right now, we're building a new roadway that's going to come up into the Perry Spinelli Pavilion, which is located right by the pond. There's going to be a new parking lot constructed there, a turnaround area. So future people that rent the pavilion. So it's a rentable facility. We upgraded that, I think around 2019, 2020 timeframe. And so now it's a rentable space for weddings, birthday party, grad parties. So we're going to have a turnaround so caterers can actually drop food off. There's a catering kitchen there. So it's a great asset. It's been shut down during the construction, but once the park is reopened, all of those amenities will be there.
And that is the A-frame.
That's the A-frame.
That's the A-frame that everyone's familiar with from those beautiful pictures.
Yes.
It really does make a beautiful
It's a phenomenal.
It
during COVID, the schools actually used it for, I think, a senior prom event, believe it or not. So we've really done just about anything in that building.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great space. So we're putting some of the infrastructure, parking that was the biggest issue prior to this project. There's almost nowhere to park at Page. There's a lot of safety, sightline issues. Those were the two major things we wanted to address. And we wanted to address a lot of the aging infrastructure, including the lower playground, is in disrepair. We can't get parts anymore because it's so outdated. So one of the things phase 2 is also going to address is a new playground, a new splash park, a new bathroom, and what we're calling the Great Lawn, which is going to be a big open green space that's going to look at that pond. So it's hard to imagine when you see the space now, but if you go to bristolrec.com and then on our homepage, you can go to the park project portal. You can actually see all the renderings, all the designs, so you can kind of see what the vision is and what that's going to look like when it's all said and done in 2027.
Pretty terrific. Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah.
That's great. The participatory element that you've asked for the satisfaction survey. Yep. You have actually, asked people about different park designs, and you have a new, survey going on right now about a new playground.
Right.
It's going to be where?
This is the one at Page. So we are soliciting. We've launched
the lower playground,
which is going to be relocated to the upper area by the pond.
Okay.
So that's going to be, if you can imagine it, it's really the heart of the park is now going to be the hub of all the activity.
And there was a park there at one point.
Years ago,
things. Yeah, we had the wading pool, and we had the little merry-go-rounds used to go around, the swings.
Yep.
There was a cabin, and there was a basketball court. So that general area is going to be where the new playground's going to be.
That's right.
Oh, that's terrific. That's a nice area.
Yeah, it's really great.
Yeah. All right. So, and people, if they want to have their opinions, if they want to add their opinions to this, their votes, what do they do?
Yep, they can. So we have it on our Facebook page. So there's a link right on our Facebook page. If you see upgrade your play, there's a link right to it, or you can go to bristolrec.com, click on, there's a project icon, click on that, and it takes you right to the landing page. You can go and see all the different design options that we're considering and leave your comments on that website. It gets submitted, and then we look at all the comments and actually factor that into final decisions that we make. This is, I think, the fourth upgrade your play that we've done. We launched them a couple years back. That we allowed the public, Federal Hill Green, public voted on that playground that you see there. Seymour Park across town, people voted on that castle and pirate ship that you see there.
Yeah,
those were all community votes, and we're trying to listen to what it is that people want, because they're the users, right? We want the kids, the families that are going to go there to be the ones that decided what that looks like. So this is an active campaign through the end of the month. We're really trying to get some feedback before we go ahead and do that, because I think it's important that people get a chance to weigh in.
Yeah, and we post links to those surveys too. So we'll take care of that.
Appreciate it.
All right, that's right. So once again, this is David Fortier with Talking Bristol, and our guest today is Josh Medeiros. He is the supervisor of Bristol Parks, Recreation, Youth, and Community Services. How's that? Pretty good.
Close. Superintendent, not supervisor, but that's fine.
I was focusing on the other side, right? Speaking of supervisors, you also supervise. You're also the arts and culture person. That's another under your umbrella.
Yep.
So Ariana Therio is under there, and she handles Downtown Live and all those things that are happening over there.
That's right.
How's that working out?
It's working out so well. I know she was just here on the show previously. I'm sure she shared. We've actually made a profit at the theater this year for the first time.
Congratulations. That's terrific.
Really, it's been a long process. Anyone that has been following this, it's been a long road to get the theater there in place. Started off really in this, pre-planning phase. Now it's here. We're still experimenting on what's going to work at the theater, what doesn't work, what do people really want, how do we make money. We're pursuing a lot of sponsors, things like that, because everything that she's doing is covered through a special revenue fund. So again, no taxpayer money is going to support that Downtown Live program, which includes paying for her salary, her benefits. So it really is a business, but we're trying to operate it kind of with that balance of, it's a business, we need to bring revenue in, while also providing a theater for the community that people can really come in, enjoy, and it's another asset that you manage.
And if you haven't been there, it's just gorgeous. It's just a great venue.
It really is. And like I said, we've had a couple sold out shows, near sold out shows, and it's feels like it's really picking up steam, and people really recognize what an asset it is.
Yeah, it's great. It's nice. We were Ariana and I were involved with a conversation with some people from the Office of the Arts from Hartford
Yes.
about what they're doing with the cultural district.
That's right.
And one of the people there who is consulting with the state people, Beth Flowers, who's
Yep.
with Air Collaborative.
Mhm.
She said that she's just dropped down in Bristol, and she said this place is tremendous, and people in Bristol need to hear more.
Yeah.
What we have here is really terrific,
Right.
and so much is already been established, and there's so much more potential.
That's right.
And that's another one that comes under your
Yeah.
the umbrella. All right.
I think we're trying to connect everything to this bigger picture that Bristol is a great place to live, work, and play, and we want to make it an attractive place. I think that comes from having beautiful parks, beautiful amenities, assets like the theater downtown where people can come, they can go out to eat. We want to build that downtown economy and do that. You do that through arts and culture. You do that through entertainment by giving people a reason to come into Bristol and then wanting to stay in Bristol, spend their money here, and maybe move here, right? Like that's the kind of the cycle of goals.
It is. And so we're just about to wrap up here.
Wow.
So I want to thank you. I don't know if there's anything else that you wanted to cover. But this is your time to maybe address something we missed or.
There's just so much going on. It's hard to narrow it down to anything. There's a plethora of information available. If you go to bristolrec.com, you can see hundreds of recreation programs, events, things that are happening. We have a department info tab where you can see all of our policies, anything you want to know about parks, rec, youth, and community services. You can pretty much find 99% of that on that website.
It's just you're going to have to put aside an hour and a half to do it.
Yeah, right. We also have the park project portal, which has all of our active projects. We get a lot of questions. Hey, I didn't know about this. We'll go to the park project portal. You can see every document, cost estimates, designs, different iterations. Like we're very transparent and trying to put all of that out there. So the information is there if you're interested and want to get into it. So I would just encourage people to reach out and get in the parks this summer, find something to do. We have lots of activities, both that you can sign up for and pay, or free activities that don't cost anything.
Yeah,
so
terrific.
Something for everyone.
We're very fortunate. So if people want to get in touch with you, they can actually go to the website, and there's information there on contacting.
That's right.
People there, and they won't be contacting you directly because you have a staff and you have a really competent staff.
Thank you. Yeah, we've worked really hard to build what I would consider probably the best park team in the state for sure. We have an awesome team.
Wow, the challenges out there, Connecticut.
Yeah,
that's great. So once again, this is David Fortier with Talking Bristol, and I have the Superintendent of Parks, Recreation, Youth, and Community Services, Josh Medeiros, with me. Thanks for your time, thanks for your time, Josh.
My pleasure.
Really
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Well, you'll have to come back to talk about some of these other things.
Yes, we can do a deep dive on any number of these topics.
Absolutely, it's terrific. So if you like Talking Bristol, and you can always share, subscribe to both, and follow us on our Facebook and YouTube pages. If you were inclined to donate to us, you just click on the donate button on our website, and that's on the Bristol edition. That's bristoledition.org. And you can find these videos on our Facebook Reels, our YouTube channel, and also you will also find videos on our website. So this is David Fortier signing off with Talking Bristol.